Welcome back. This is Jessica Guthrow again with LiveLeanTV.com. Thanks for joining. Today we're going to go over some of the worst glute training mistakes or worst booty training mistakes. These are bad form mistakes. Even if your goal isn't to grow your booty, this is just bad form. I want you to keep safe and I want you to get the most out of your efforts. So it's important that you have good form when you're training. Hopefully these mistakes will be eye-opening for you and hopefully you're not doing any of these, but if you are, now you know. So stay tuned. Today you're gonna come to the gym with me and I'm gonna show you the bad form mistakes, the booty training mistakes, and then also how you can correct them. Just simple little form tweaks that can take your training from dangerous and ineffective to awesome, safe and effective at the same time, and that's what you want out of your training. Let's go to the gym and let me show you these terrible mistakes. The first one is when you squat by bending your knees before bending your hips. Now, not only does this put too much excessive pressure on your knees, it also takes some of the benefit away from your glutes because your glutes aren't getting as much of a stretch or contraction as they would if you were bending at your hips first. Anytime you squat, it's really important that you stick your booty out first and bend your knees second. So here you can see in good squat form, you want to stick your butt back and out and then lower down instead of just lowering straight down without even thinking about pushing your hips backwards. A squat is a hip dominant movement. So if you're feeling this more in your knees and in your thighs and not feeling it in your booty and hip area, then that's a clue that your form is off. Take a step back, analyze your form, and see if you can tweak it a little bit. One of the biggest clues is if your heels are lifting off the floor. Now this, you probably remember I talked about the same problem in the how to fix your knee pain video last week. That's because this problem that causes knee pain also reduces your glute results. Our second one is rounded back deadlifts. This one makes me cringe every time I see it at the gym, and it's so common because a lot of people are just focused on the down up movement, but really you should be focused on the hip hinge again here because the deadlift is another hip hinge exercise. So you want to stick your butt back and out as you're bending at the hip crease. That's where the bend should be coming from, and your lower back should stay as straight and tight as possible. Do not let the spine round and don't let the shoulders roll forward either. You want to keep your shoulders locked in place and just hinge at the hips. If you find that your back is rounding when you're doing deadlifts and nothing you can do with your form can stop that from happening, then I would suggest reducing the weight, just practicing this with a broomstick or with a bar with no plates added onto it until you can really get that form down. Now, when correcting your deadlifts and really emphasizing that hinge at the hip, you should be feeling the tension primarily in your hamstrings and glutes. If you've been frustrated by not feeling your glutes when you're doing deadlifts, that's a sign that your lower back is rounding, or maybe your upper back as well. So check your form in the mirror, maybe even take some video clips of yourself, have a friend or a personal trainer watch you and see if your form needs a little bit of fixing. Now, let's talk about not enough depth in your exercise. This could be with lunges, or it could be with squats, or even step-ups, any exercise where you're just doing a partial depth. Yes, you're probably working hard and using heavy weight and feeling exhausted by the end of your set, but you're not feeling it in your glutes because your glutes simply just aren't getting enough stretch or contraction out of the exercise. When you only go halfway down, you're gonna be quad dominant no matter where your weight is shifted on your foot. In order to activate the glutes, you need your hip angle to bend and hinge, get that stretch in the glutes. I understand that sometimes you might be doing partial range of motion because your knees hurt or because it's easier and because you feel tired or something like that. But you're really cheating yourself out of the benefits of the exercise if you're only using a partial range of motion. Full range of motion is going to give you the full benefits. So again, even if you have to lower the weights to do it right, it's worth doing it right. Practice your lunges, your squats, and your step-ups all with no weight added, and make sure you're using full range of motion before you go and add weights. Now here's what a full depth walking lunge would look like. It's the front leg you want to pay attention to. It's the hip hinge that you're getting and how much of a glute stretch you're getting. So really pay more attention to your front leg than your back leg. It's fine if you want to keep your back knee off the ground. I like to just kiss the floor lightly with the back knee because that helps me know I've gotten as low as possible. But when I'm doing these lunges, I'm really paying attention to that front leg and getting that glute stretch and contraction out of each rep. always control your descent. When you're doing full depth exercises, you don't want to just drop in the bucket like with no control on the way down. You want to slowly lower down, get that stretch sensation, and then contract and squeeze your way to the top. Another really awful mistake when it comes to lunges is to lean forward with your knee jutting out in front of your toes. Now, this was even hard for me to do at the gym because it's just so awkward and uncomfortable, but a lot of people think that the weights are supposed to go forward towards the foot. If you think that the goal is to lower the weights down towards your foot, of course you're gonna lean forward, overcompensate. The end result is that your knee is pushed too far forward, so protect your knees at all costs. And again, when you're training your glutes, your focus should be on your hips, not on your knees. So if you're feeling too much of the exercise or the strain in your knees or your thighs, that's a clue for you to shift your weight backwards. So now the last one is actually a combo of two different problems. It's when your back rounds and you drop too low in your exercise as well. So this one is called a ducktail. You're putting yourself at risk for back injuries and knee injuries at the same time, and you're really not using your glutes by doing the exercise this way. You're really using your leg muscles more. In order to get the benefits of a full depth squat, it's important that you keep your spine straight. So no ducktails, especially when you're adding weight to a squat. This could be even more dangerous, but even when you're doing a body weight squat just like this, you've got to keep your spine straight and sit down as low as you can without the ducktail. Squat in front of a mirror if you need to. Again, take a video, have somebody watch you to make sure that you don't have that little butt wink at the bottom of your squats. Now, if you're practicing your squats and you're practicing your lunges and you see some of these form mistakes happening, what do? Do you stop working out altogether, throw in the towel? No. You need to reduce the weight, practice your form, be really meticulous about it, have somebody help you, have somebody watch you, take videos of yourself. Do everything in your power to correct your form with no weight added. Once you feel comfortable and confident with your form, which you will after some practice, that's when it's time to start adding resistance and weights to your exercises. So many people make the mistakes of loading on the weight without practicing proper form first, and this is where injuries and setbacks happen. I don't want to see that happen to you, so if you're following any of my booty programs like Build-A-Butt Original or Build-A-Butt Extreme, it's imperative that you are doing the moves with the correct form like I show in the exercise demo videos, and continue to check yourself. No matter how many years you've been exercising or how many reps you've done, you're still going to need to check your form from time to time to make sure that you're on point. I use a mirror in a lot of my training to make sure that my form is good. I also get to see myself on video a lot, which is really excellent feedback. So that's it for today's video. I hope these tips were truly helpful for you. Drop me a comment in the section below about which one of these mistakes you think is most common. And thanks so much for watching another Live Lean TV episode. I'll see you guys at the next one. Thanks, and keep living lean.